I've made well over 1,500 videos on my channel through the course of about 8 years or so, and never have I covered a topic so insane as this situation, at least in recent memory. This is crazy. And what just transpired at Activision Blizzard not only needs to be investigated by internal HR teams, but potentially the FBI and the CIA, because the people that are working at these companies are full on, completely insane, unhinged, lunatic, get help in a padded room because there's not medication for what just happened here. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. And thanks to Grums on Twitter for sharing this leaked screenshot of a Slack conversation from internal Activision Blizzard of what they talked about after the Trump election has got to make you wonder, at what point are people going to do something? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down this leaked Slack message that goes into some quite questionable details as far as what the inner thoughts are for some of the people employed at Activision Blizzard and how the hell this is even allowed to fly in any workplace anywhere. Grum said on Twitter, Activision Blizzard devs are worried about the elections and are feeling unsafe. Someone should explain to them that Trump was president for 4 years and they were just fine and will be again. Source, company Slack via insider at Activision Blizzard, status confirmed. And he shared a couple screenshots. I genuinely feel sick. I swear I see Harambe. Election days should be on a Friday. For the folks in the thread who want to know what's up, this is a trend that started back in 2020 amongst BIPOC and queer communities to exhibit solidarity during times of struggle. It is meant to decentralize the individual as to not distract from the message of suffering. Reality is very uncertain right now, and I honestly can't see what happens beyond the new year. 2025 to 2028 will be a doozy, and that's thinking optimistically that this won't be our last election. The impact of this election cycle will be felt for decades to come. I hope for the best, but fear and prepare for the worst, because that is what I do. Please take care of and look out for each other. We are all we've got. And sure, mentally unstable people will say strange and weird things, whatever. That's not the biggest deal in the world, but I wanted to at least lay the foundation because it gets way worse. Grums on Twitter shared a scary picture of Activision Blizzard's internal environment. The leak that he shared revealed a company workforce filled to the brim with insane emotional reactions and extremely concerning discussions, showcasing just how mentally unstable some of these employees truly are. This is raising some critical questions about the hiring practices at the company, with many people now pointing fingers at leadership, specifically the president, Rob Kostich, and the subsequent HR department under him for cultivating an unstable workforce. Grums on Twitter said, more Slack leaks from Activision Blizzard. Dev contemplate bleep violence. Other devs now see the benefit of bleep self-defense. They are losing it. Source, insider at Activision Blizzard. Status confirmed. Coming from former World of Warcraft team lead Mark Kern, who knows people at Activision Blizzard, and yes, I know there are people that don't like this guy, I trust him, especially when it comes to something like this, and honestly, it doesn't look fake either. The leaked screenshot from the internal company Slack at Activision Blizzard depicts the employees casually grappling with their unhinged emotions and sharing some increasingly concerning thoughts. The message that was shared states, it must be working on, blank, making me more blank, but I've never been more tempted to buy a blank. And someone responds, arm the left. And someone else responds, after all, and blank minority is harder to oppress. And then finally, someone responded with, if you can afford it, get life insurance. No one fights harder than insurance companies. And if more minorities get them, then it'll be harder for hate crime to get swept under the rug. What the hell kind of people are employed at Activision Blizzard? Like, No way, no how should this conversation ever take place anywhere, never mind on a public Slack within a game company. The leaked Slack message conversation in particular reveals a workforce that's not only deeply affected by the political developments recently, but one that seems to be on the brink of a serious personal and interpersonal crisis. The fact that this kind of dialogue is occurring within the corporate space of a major gaming company is extremely troubling. Grums on Twitter said, Activision Blizzard devs are melting down after the election. About half the office is losing their minds. People are crying, panicking, leaving work early. Trans people are talking about buying bleep. People are passing out crisis support line numbers. It's complete chaos. Source, longtime insider at Activision Blizzard, status, rumor. He followed that up saying, I thought it would only be around 10% of the devs, but it is nearly 50. Crazy. To which Savvy replied, I would immediately fire anyone crying. What an emotional instability is that? And Grubbs replied, unfortunately, they will turn to packing in messages of protest into their games now, or they will try to. The propaganda will increase before the investors put the boot down. And Savvy said, they can try. I have a feeling a lot more people in game dev are going to speak up. And I go back to, these are the types of people you hire. This is the type of consequence that you get from those actions. Going back to the, well, if it's not the consequences of our own actions, maybe we should have been filling this company with people that pass a more mentally stable test as opposed to bringing our blue-haired friends into this company, because what could possibly go wrong? Activision Blizzard is a champion of the entire DEI conversation, and their decision to prioritize certain hiring criteria over genuine competence has completely backfired. The company's hired individuals who are unable to separate their personal political struggles from their professional responsibilities. This leaked message indicates that some of the employees are contemplating involving things that they really shouldn't be doing, especially on a work Slack channel. This was a shocking development when I first saw it pop up. I'm like, holy crap. Is the FBI watching? Like, is anyone going to actually investigate this kind of thing? Because I feel like this is the first thing that happens before something much worse happens down the road. You know, like red flag or, oh, should have seen that coming based off of these things that transpired. Anything of the sort. It's not hard for anyone to see why this is a huge problem for Activision Blizzard. When a workforce is dominated by DEI individuals who are openly struggling with emotional regulation and extreme reactions, it's no wonder that the work environment is as unhinged as this. Emotionally volatile environments don't foster creative genius. They stifle it under the weight of internal conflict and instability, a pressure that they have been feeling for some time now. And it points everyone to looking at the HR department right now saying, wait a second, if these people are working there and you're allowing this kind of stuff to happen, what are the policies for hiring? What kind of competencies are you looking for? And I go over to see what John Trent wrote, and he talks about how Rob Kostich and the entire HR department of this company should be immediately fired. They are to blame for this. But if that were to happen, that would mean they'd have accountability, which we've seen over and over again, especially in the game industry, that it's the one major thing that all these people are lacking. John attached this image of why we track representation and inclusion data and talking about all these DEI things that they do at Activision Blizzard. And this is Exhibit A for how crazy people at a company can spiral out of control into doing something very questionable or scary. These same types of people that I would say are the last people on the planet that should own any kind of firearm for any reason whatsoever. The mere notion that the emotionally unstable people working at Activision Blizzard have openly discussed their temptation with purchasing weapons amidst a political event and becoming armed is pretty deeply unsettling. These are individuals who should not, under any circumstances, have access to that kind of stuff. The risk of accidental harm or impulsive decisions leading to something that should never happen is way too great, and honestly, like I've said many times here, extremely scary. Activision Blizzard needs to take swift action over what this absolute insanity is going on here to regain control over the workplace environment. This kind of situation is clearly unsustainable, not just for the employees involved, but for the company's reputation and for the safety of everyone working there. I couldn't imagine working in a place where the coworkers are speaking so flippantly about something so genuinely terrifying. Rob Kostic and the entire HR department need to be held accountable for allowing this kind of toxic environment to develop unchecked. Good God, the more I dive into the game industry behind the scenes, the more I find out about it, the worse it gets. It's almost like you get to the point of like, ignorance is bliss, just play your games and don't investigate anything, and hopefully sticking your fingers in your ears will just block out all that negativity, and you can just play those games and no problems will ever happen. Just don't turn on the news and you won't know about it. Anyways, I could keep going on and on about how insane this is. There is more information in the Smash JT article. If you're interested, I will link it in the description below. Activision Blizzard needs to say something publicly about this, that they're going to be fixing it, because holy crap, I can't believe this just came and went and it was like not even a big deal. I'm like, whoa, no. We're going to full stop talk about this situation and put a kibosh on it, because this cannot happen anywhere. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button, and as always, you stay smashing.
Independent studio model is that I think it enables you to have a much smaller, kind of more intimate relationship with your teammates.